Hello. 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 Okay, mine's working.
Testing 1 2.
Can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself.
We're good.
Yeah. It's for you.
And the internet.
It's just that this Ozarka sparkling mandarin orange water, the invigorating bubbles just get to me. Just love this Ozarka mandarin orange sparkling water. Just love it. Yeah, I've still got 7 minutes left on my install, so 6. Okay, we're down to 6. How's the Revenant? We can talk about it on the air. We'll talk about it on the air.
That's fine.
No, I've been watching. Like I said, your wife.
Don't blame my wife for your problems.
No, it's not a problem. It's in fact a solution to my life. She got me onto Luther.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, anything Idris Elba does is gold. It's amazing.
He's good at things.
So we were on that, and then and then we've been on Bloodline.
Yeah.
With Coach Taylor.
Sorry, I'm getting used to the colors in this room with the new paint job.
Yeah. We're on Bloodline with Coach Taylor, and but never seen Friday Night Lights.
She blew through that quick.
I know. I've heard it's great, and if anybody in the world should want to watch it, but at the same time, I immerse myself in it all day, every day.
Sure.
That when I want to do entertainment,
I
want to do something not that,
Right. I don't think anyone would blame you either way. So what do you think of the temporary set?
It's okay. I'll say this, I'm glad it's temporary.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's because we'll be
I figured I might as well bring the board in. So
we should be debuting our new studio on Monday.
That is the hope.
Yeah.
That'll be kind of a. They have to come in I don't know when they're going to be done. If they're going to be done by Sunday morning, then maybe come in for a couple hours on Sunday just to make sure it's all set.
You've got a birthday coming up, don't you?
I do.
When's your get together? I'm not asking when the actual day is because I know you won't tell me that, but
Saturday.
Okay. Still at the place we had determined? Okay.
Not much has changed.
I do have
the biggest thing there, without diving too deeply into it, is
we're going to Top Golf for anybody who's watching.
I'm sure no one is. I don't even look. Who's watching? Me.
Ooh, less than a minute. It just sped. Oh, it just finished.
What? Oh, nice. So you can reserve for a party, which is for 12 people, and they give you a little buffet thing, right? But we're expecting I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 10.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get that.
And there's a time limit if you do the big group. I think if you go on your own, you can just
grab 2 bays and you'll be fine. You know what I mean?
I don't even think I'll need 2. We did. What do we for our Christmas, our holiday party? 7 people in one bay, and it was fine, right?
Can I be that guy who brings his own driver?
I don't care what you do. Spencer's gonna need left-handed clubs.
All right, what is up? What is up? El Capitan just installed just in time.
It's pretty impressive. 5 seconds.
Yes, y'all! It is DCTF Live for Tuesday, January 19th, 2016. My name is Greg Tepper, managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Over there is Max Thompson, the director of digital for those things that I listed. We are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon talking football in the state of Texas. Today is episode number 56, the Darren O'Day episode.
Yes, it is.
It is. If you are a longtime viewer of DCTF Live, if you've watched, say, all 55 of the episodes before this, you may notice something. You may be saying, hey, wait a second. What's up with y'all's set?
These are some weird angles, man.
They are weird angles. You are not hallucinating. You are absolutely right. Something is different. And that difference is that we got paint over the past weekend.
And
by the way, we are not long for this.
This little space that this hostage den.
We are not long for this hostage den.
No.
If you don't like this set, that's okay, because you'll only have to deal with it, we think, for this week. Until Monday, I believe, is when we are going to debut our brand new, more permanent set.
Right.
So this is, if it looks blank or it looks boring or you don't like the camera angle, you just got to deal with it for 4 days.
It is very gray in here.
It's very
now.
gray.
I am noticing this. It was a warmer color before with our old set.
Well, and we just got done painting in the Tepper household. We painted the dining room, and it's got a lot more color than this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My wife would love this. She loves neutral colors, and so
Get to see what the carpet situation is before I
we'll
render
see.
A final verdict.
Yeah, right now it's fine. You know, it's fine.
It looks like a drab office building.
It is. So I want to ask you, before we get into football talk, and we do have a lot of football to talk about, including Allen has a new coach, UTSA has a new coach. One of the premier college players in the state is heading to the NFL. We'll talk about all that, plus a new magazine that we've got coming out.
Woo!
But first, I want to ask you about The Revenant. Because you told me that you were going to go see The Revenant.
Okay.
The Leonardo DiCaprio gets eaten by a bear movie. Was it awesome?
Yes.
No.
It was a relentless, just brutal movie. But I knew that going in. Everyone said it would be. I was sort of amazed that Carrie, my wife, wanted to go. Because I knew I read everything about it ahead of time, and I knew it was going to be really violent, and that's really not her cup of tea.
Right.
Yeah, just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what you hurt watching everyone go through this movie. It is cold. It is icy. There is a lot of blood. There's a lot of horrible wounds. Just blood everywhere, but beautiful.
But
I mean,
great.
It's breathtaking to watch. Yeah, I mean, awesome. If you can handle the violence, I highly recommend it, because it is going to be one of the most breathtakingly beautiful movies you will ever see, even in its horror.
Right. Okay.
But I don't think that's any different than anything anyone else has said. I don't know if it's suddenly the one that DiCaprio should win an Oscar for. I feel like he's done more sort of dynamic things in the past. This is like him grunting a lot in pain, and it looks miserable. And I am sure from a endurance standpoint for the actors and what they had to go through shooting in these frigid climates.
Sure.
Yeah, you should get an award for that.
Okay.
But yeah.
But you're not one to say, oh, he was definitely, this is the best role he's ever had.
No, but I feel like in a lot of ways when he plays his most intense characters, it's kind of the same guy every time.
Yeah. So, like, the same guy he was in Shutter Island, except not crazy.
Spoiler
alert.
Someone put together a great clip of him and some of his most, like, in his biggest roles, just, like, grunting and like, crawling on the ground in all of these movies in the same way, like, kind of drooling a little bit. So.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was good. You should see it.
I want to see it. I do want to see it. We are DCTF Lab. We are a football show, and there's plenty of football to talk about. And we will start with our 3 and outs, our 3 headlines from across the football weekend. And the biggest headline has got to be that the coaching carousel in high school football continues to swirl. And the biggest job in the state, inarguably the largest job in the state, Allen, has been filled. There is we have a new coach at Allen High School, and it's a familiar name to Allen fans. Terry Campbell, who is leaving Hewitt Midway to come back north to Allen, where he was their defensive coordinator from 2001 to 2010, including in 2008 when they got their first state championship game. And the thing about Terry Campbell is that he's kind of the perfect choice in this regard because, for one, he knows what that program's all about.
Yes.
He's not going to come in there and be like, oh my gosh, there's so much.
I was not expecting any of this.
Right. He knows what this program is. He knows what it is. And he's a guy that has some credibility within the football community there. Everybody knows him.
No question.
And beyond that, and perhaps more importantly to fans of Allen, he's a winner.
Yeah.
Okay. Not just in his time at Allen, when he helped shape Allen's defense into a real juggernaut that ended up winning the title in 2008, but when he was with Hewitt Midway, I mean, he's been great.
Yeah.
They went to the state championship game in 2011. They went to the quarterfinals in 2012. They went to regional semifinals 3 years that he was there. 68-13 at Hewitt Midway.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
I mean, he's also got a lot of. He's bounced around the DFW area. This was really when he went to Hewitt Midway. That was the farthest south he'd really ever been. He was at Garland. He was at Forney. He was at Southlake Carroll, as well as Duncanville. So he's bounced around a little bit, but he is a winner. You know, he's a guy who's got credibility in the area and credibility in the community, and I think it's the more you think about it, you go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I thought about that before.
Yeah.
When I predicted this would be their hire.
Well, good job. Look at you.
Yeah.
I thought Fleener would have been an interesting choice.
He would have been an interesting choice, absolutely. Obviously a younger guy, lots of energy, rising star. But I think, their history and the kind of hire they made, in the past sort of reflected that better to go with the guy that is experienced, knows the system extremely well, what it's like to be at Allen extremely well. Yeah, I mean, I think it all made sense.
I think it does. I think it does. I think it's a good hire for Allen, but that also leaves open another choice job. Hewitt Midway.
There are two choice jobs down in Waco.
Down the Central Texas area. If you go with Temple and you go with Hewitt Midway, I mean, those are two
huge,
big time jobs that are still open. So when one gets filled, another one comes open. Such is life these days in Texas high school football. Our second.
Are you kind of surprised before we move on that we've dealt with a carousel like this? I really didn't think. Obviously, Allen opening up was a huge domino. But we entered this winter, and I thought, we're not going to see a lot of changes.
I think that I have now been around long enough to know that there's never a quiet offseason in Texas high school football. There's always one or two that you go, whoa,
that's a big move. Yeah.
Well, that's big. There's always a couple. And, I mean, heck, last year. Think about last year when Gilmer came open.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge deal. That's a defending champ coming open. When Cibolo Steel came open, I believe 2 years ago.
Yep.
Another one that nobody really saw coming.
You're
but
right.
here you go. I've just now learned not to be surprised.
Sure.
Just because coaches, again, and we preach this so much here, that coaches, they're humans first and foremost, and they're going to respond to a lot of different things. I think we think, oh, well, why wouldn't anybody want that Allen job? And we think, well, because you'd have to move.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you take a new job?
Right.
All the pieces would have to be in place. I mean, it could be a great job. I could get offered a great job in North Carolina.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, but if I don't want to move to North Carolina or
Saskatchewan,
or the money's not right, or if my wife says she doesn't want to move to North Carolina,
she loves Saskatchewan,
then we're not going. There's a lot of different things, and then you bring kids into the factor. So for me, I've just learned not to be surprised. That's just me.
I get that.
Second down is news that broke, I believe, Friday, when we were off because there was paint going on, and and that is that Andrew Billings, the All-American defensive tackle for the Baylor Bears, has declared his intention to leave Baylor early and head to the NFL draft.
Big loss for the Bears.
A big loss. A big loss for the Bears. Quite literally.
Yes.
A big loss for the Bears. He is a huge, huge player. And I mean that both in his size and his strength as well as his importance to that team.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is big for a number of reasons, but maybe more than anything, he's really the first great defensive player to come out of this reborn Baylor under Briles, and the first big defensive guy that bought in and really turned himself into an NFL-ready prospect. And it's a landmark moment. It's bittersweet because you're producing defensive talent like this at a program where obviously at this point everyone goes, oh, well, the offense is great, but the defense needs work. Well, they've developed one really great player. That means they could do it again. And then two, it's sad because here's a guy another year. Maybe next year was the year. Maybe they could get some of these pieces back together and develop something special. You're missing a huge piece now.
Well, right now, first let's start off talking about Andrew Billings a bit, which is that he is he's going to go very high in the draft. He had mentioned before that he was not going to leave early unless he got a first-round grade.
Right.
Well, he's leaving early.
Yeah.
And right now he's probably the second best interior defensive lineman in the draft, only behind another Texan.
Yes.
In Ashawn Robinson, who from Alabama, from Fort Worth Arlington Heights, who's declared early to go as well.
Yeah.
He's probably second behind him. And the other thing about it is that he's going to go early because right now he's ready.
Yeah. Because
of his outrageous strength, which has been kind of well documented. But the other thing about him, the other thing that's really super interesting to me, is that he still found a way to fly under the radar because Sean Oakman got all the headlines.
Yep.
Because he's this huge, ripped guy, and he's got the abs, and he's just like this menace. Andrew Billings is a better player than Sean Oakman. I mean, we can have a conversation once draft time rolls around about Sean Oakman, but Andrew Billings was a more dominant player.
I don't think anyone's going to debate you on that.
He was a better player all around, period. And so this is on the other side of it, this is a huge loss for Baylor because now that means they're losing all 4 defensive linemen, okay? And that means that they are losing 8 of their 9 linemen, period.
It's rough.
Okay? We already mentioned how much they're going to miss Spencer Drango. Okay?
Yeah.
Spencer Drango, I thought, was one of the best players in the conference for the past 3 years. He's gone because he's graduating. They were lucky to get him back last year. Not so lucky here, as now the entire defensive line's wiped out. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen are wiped out. There is major rebuilding that has to be done on the offensive and defensive lines for Baylor heading into 2016.
Yeah.
Now, third down.
Oh.
Well, look at that. So we have been working. We don't just do a show. We also do a magazine. And this is our new magazine. Dave Campbell presents Texas Football Rising. It is our recruiting guide. It is our prospect guide in the state of Texas. As it says on the cover, more than 400 prospects are mentioned in here from 2016 to 2017 to 2018 to 2019. We go deep.
Yeah.
And obviously on the cover, Jet Duffy.
Mr. Texas football.
Heading to Texas Tech. And if you look very closely, what's that behind him? Oh, yeah.
Pat Mahomes.
Shades of Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
But Texas Football Rising, we've done the DCTF Winter Edition for a long time.
Right.
And the thing that's always struck me is that, not everybody wants to relive the season that just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everybody wants to talk about recruiting. And
Right.
so we want to give people what they want. And, the one thing in this thing that I want to be clear about is that we don't talk about where these kids are heading.
Yeah.
Because those things change, as the wind blows, and it's impossible to predict. We don't want to be in the business of where are they heading, where are they
Right.
going, what are they doing, how did their official visit go. That's not our business. That's not – I frankly don't care that much.
Well, in a lot of ways, it's sort of preserving the spirit of what we do here, which
Sure.
is spotlight all the kids all over the state for various reasons. You're going to see kids in here that,
And
maybe aren't 2 stars, but
and-
we feel like are really good prospects at their level.
And provide analysis. And
Yeah.
so we've got prospects here. So, for example, if you're looking at the best 2016 quarterbacks, you can read, about superstar prospects that you've heard of, like Brennan Wooten,
Right.
like Nick Starkel, and guys like that. But then you're also going to read about guys like Luke Skipper, the quarterback at Forney,
Yeah.
or Kyle Trask, the backup
Right.
quarterback at Manville.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it's a real nerdy magazine. I'm going to be honest, okay? It is a really, really nerdy magazine. So if you're a football wonk like I am, you will love this because it is in-depth. It is, and so you can use it kind of as a signing day guide, and then also look ahead to the best prospects in 2017 and the best prospects in 2018 and the best prospects in 2019. We've got you covered here. It should be hitting bookshelves starting this week. We'll get kind of more information out there on TexasFootball.com, but it's called Dave Campbell Presents Texas Football Rising. You can see it right here. It looks a lot different than a lot of things that we've ever done. Compare that to that. A little bit different, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about it. I think that it's a part of kind of the future of Dave Campbell's Texas football. So we're very excited about that. So Texas Football Rising right there again. I'll hold it up for the camera. Can you see it?
We can see that on the camera,
Can
yes.
you see it? Good. Okay. There you go. Texas Football Rising. Pick one up at your local grocery store and Walmart today. So there was also some news that pretty much broke right after we went off the air on Thursday, because we haven't done a show since Thursday because of construction around here. And that was that the final college football vacancy in the state of Texas, we presume, assuming, right, assuming Art Briles doesn't get bored and is like, I think I'm going to go coach, like, basketball in, like, New York.
Yeah. Are there any NFL jobs open still? I don't think so. I think Philadelphia was the last one, right?
Yeah, and the 49ers and all that. I don't think.
Yeah, but that's 49ers has been filled, Browns have been filled, and then the Eagles just filled their job.
Yeah, I don't think there's any open right
So
now.
we don't have to worry about one of our
but
guys getting poached.
The final college football job in the state of Texas has been filled, and it has been filled at the University of Texas San Antonio, better known as UTSA, and it is filled by Frank Wilson.
Yeah.
So you might be asking yourself, "Hey, self, who is Frank Wilson?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you've read the headlines, then you know that he was a running backs coach and kind of assistant head coach to Les Miles at LSU.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, he was Leonard Fournette's coach.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, that's pretty good.
Can he bring Leonard Fournette with him?
Pretty.
Is there?
It's interesting. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to call the NCAA and see what they think about that.
Let me know.
But UTSA picks up Frank Wilson from LSU. Who is Frank Wilson? Well, for one thing, if you are looking for a guy with head coaching chops, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Right.
This is a coordinator promotion.
Yes.
Is what this is. This is North Texas going and hiring Seth Luttrell.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a guy that this will be his first collegiate head coaching job and his first head coaching job of any kind since he left Walker High School in New Orleans in 2003. So, New Orleans guy.
Hey.
Man after your own heart.
We'd have a few things to talk about.
Between that, he had been at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
As various assistantships at Ole Miss, Southern Miss, Tennessee under Lane Kiffin, and then LSU. He's been at LSU for the past 6 years. So what is he all about? I'll tell you what he's all about. Is that he is a recruiting wizard.
Yeah.
This is a guy who has earned his stripes being he is the recruiting trump card, is what he is.
It's hard to argue with the track record. There's that for
sure. In 2011, he was Rivals.com's Recruiter of the Year.
Yeah.
In 2014, NFL.com named him the top recruiter in college football.
Right.
In 2015, Scout.com said he was the SEC Recruiter of the Year. This is a guy who knows how to get out there, and he is Winston Wolfe.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
He is the Winston Wolfe of recruiting.
I'll buy that.
The guy who comes in and he just takes care of business.
Sure.
Now, let's also point out that he was recruiting at Ole Miss. Okay. He was recruiting at Tennessee.
Yeah.
He was recruiting at LSU. And as much as we like UTSA,
right,
they're not on that same level.
No.
Okay?
No.
The things that UTSA and LSU have in common right now are that they have football programs.
That's true.
That's basically it.
Those are facts.
And so the other thing about him, the other thing about Frank Wilson, is that he does not have Texas ties pretty much at all. None. He's never coached here. But when my question is, do you give him the regional benefit of the doubt? He's a New Orleans guy.
Yeah. Can he bring those Louisiana players over?
He's
Houston players over.
And we know how much LSU likes to recruit in Texas.
Right.
We know how much Tennessee has recruited recently in Texas.
Yeah.
We know how much Ed Orgeron, when he was
These are not unfamiliar grounds by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. He has not when he came to Texas for his press conference, that wasn't his first trip across the state border.
No.
He'd been here. Yeah. So that's kind of a big question I have, is how does that recruiting stronghold that he has in Louisiana, how big is that? Does that extend all the way across Texas? We've mentioned how good we think this UTSA job is.
Yes.
Because if you are just able to adequately recruit San Antonio, you can do a lot of good things.
Yes.
I'll also say that I think it's interesting that they go get a running backs coach. He coached running backs at LSU. He coached running backs at Southern Miss. He coached running backs at Ole Miss. Okay,
they just happen to have a pretty good running back down there.
They just so happen to have a pretty good running back. And the other thing is, when you think about San Antonio area prospects,
this is a great point. This is good. Yeah.
You think of two things.
Yeah.
You think of front seven players, and you think of running backs.
Running backs, absolutely.
And so here is this guy who can walk into a recruit's living room in San Antonio and say, hey, you're a superstar running back at
Brandeis.
Brandeis. You're a superstar running back at Brandeis.
Sure.
Why don't you go look at the running backs that I've coached?
Yeah.
Why don't you go look at those guys and tell me what you think? Now, I'm interested to see how he fills out his staff, of course.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have to. He's pretty much cleaned house. Yeah. Pretty much every assistant is gone. So he's going to build his own staff. Yeah. He's almost certainly going to bring on a San Antonio or a Texas high school football coach.
You would think so, right?
It'll be interesting to see which one.
Because we need another domino to fall in that regard.
Yeah. Or who or how many.
Yeah.
The other thing about it, and the other thing that's super interesting to me, is that I don't know what his offense is going to look like.
Right.
Now, you would assume, coming from LSU and being a running backs guy, that this is going to be, let's put it this way, closer to what UTEP is running than Baylor. Okay,
sure.
or TCU.
Right.
You have to assume that they're going to go more ground and pound.
Right.
But I think that what's interesting about Frank Wilson is that we don't necessarily know. he could say, yeah, we want to run the ball, but we also want to be, we want to be a more pro style. We want to be a balanced attack. He may go spread. He may say, the recruits that we can get is best suited to spread them out and do that kind of stuff. Because at LSU you're going to have a better offensive line than you're probably going to be able to get for the foreseeable future at UTSA. I think that another interesting thing, and I brought this up when Everett Withers was hired at Texas State. This is now he's now the 4th black head coach in the state of Texas.
Pretty amazing.
So a full third of the coaches in the state of Texas are black.
Not bad.
And I'll tell you that I have not been able to confirm this, but I would bet that that's the first time that's ever happened.
I would think so. We kind of went through this at the end of last week, trying to think back.
What states would be? Florida would have a shot.
California.
Yeah. Those are much
really the only states, with
that have
schools.
enough FBS teams to do it. But I would go on and wager that this is the first time that any state has ever had 4 black FBS coaches in the state.
You would think.
As far as what I think of the hire, the jury's out, I think. Because he's never really been a head coach. Now, he was a dynamite high school coach, but that was a decade ago.
Yeah.
And it was high school. Yeah. And coaching in high school and coaching in college are two very different things. Ask Todd Dodge. But if you are looking to me, this is a guy that they brought in because he knows how to get athletes on campus.
Sure.
He knows how to get his guys there. What they do once they get there, I don't really know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that the recruiting will take a step forward for UTSA.
Yeah.
Almost certainly, just because this guy is the Winston Wolf of recruiting.
Yeah.
The other, they had to make a hire quickly. We've mentioned that on the show, that they had to make a hire very quickly. Because signing day is right around the corner. Signing day is a mere, 13 days away? Something like that. I mean,
I cannot believe it is that close.
It's
already,
coming down the pike.
Yeah.
So they needed to make a hire very quickly.
Yeah.
I still don't like their chances of putting together a great 2016 class.
The timing of this was,
it killed
they
them.
made it harder on themselves. Yeah.
I still don't like their chances of putting together a great 2016 class. Yeah. And you know what? If you're Frank Wilson, you're probably thinking that. You're going, you know what? This class is a wash.
Yeah.
It's just a wash. But starting in 2017, starting with the 2017 class rather, I would not be surprised if you start hearing kind of like what Houston's been doing.
Right.
That 1 or 2 super big name prospects.
Kind of surprising.
You're like, wait, they're
UTSA?
They're going to UTSA?
Right.
Why is that? And it's because this guy's got recruiting chops. And I'm interested to see what his offense looks like. I'm interested in seeing what the on-field product looks like. Because we have a pretty good feeling of how he's going to be able to fill that locker room, and it's going to be with a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So how are they able to use that talent on the field? That's what remains to be seen for me.
Yeah. Which hire do you like more, Texas State or UTSA?
Right now, it's weird. You would go I think there's a reasonable argument for both. If you say you like Texas State's hire better, it's because you look at what Everett Withers has done as a head coach and you go, that guy's just a winner.
Yeah.
He's just a guy who wins.
Right.
And he's got the on-field chops.
Yeah. He's recruited everywhere and he's won everywhere.
Yeah. Period. If you go, I think that Frank Wilson's a little bit more of a wild card.
Yeah.
He's a little more high risk, high reward. There is a possibility that he doesn't know what he's doing once he gets out on the field as far as putting together a game plan.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. Probably a pretty slim possibility, but there is a possibility. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we do know that he's going to be able to bring in big-time recruits.
Yeah.
And so if you are a recruitnik, you probably look at Frank Wilson and say, that's the hire I like.
Yeah.
If you're a guy who wants to see the proof in the pudding and you want to see, a guy with a track record as far as a head coaching in college is concerned, then you go with Everett Withers.
Sure.
I think they're both solid hires. I have a few more questions about Frank Wilson than I do about Everett Withers, if only because I think Everett Withers is a little bit more, we have more evidence on him.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So all the Texas college football coaching jobs are filled. we have our 12 for next year.
Off we go.
Almost certainly.
Yes.
So that is going to do it for us for today here on DCTF Live. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/DaveCampbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/DaveCampbells. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. And we will see you tomorrow on DCTF Live.